was reading this and it made my heart a little sad. George Clooney, who has always been fine, like he is so handsome. He was chosen as sexiest man alive twice. But now, and he's 63 years old. Who is this? This ain't George Clooney.
That was young George.
That wasn't him when he was young,
yes,
was
it was, yeah.
Oh, for real? Oh! I was like, who is this Latin man? When did he become? I go from Latin to a white man. Okay. But now he's 63 years old. Put the 63-year-old picture up. So he's 63 and saying, you know, he said that those days are behind him. And when he sat down with 60 Minutes, George Clooney said that he's no longer doing romantic movies. Take a look.
Look, I'm 63 years old. I'm not trying to compete with 25-year-old leading men. That's not my job. I'm not doing romantic films anymore.
I'm not trying to hear that. I want to say to George Clooney, is this a camera I'm looking in? George Clooney, don't stop doing romantic comedies. Your fans who started with you, your fans, we have grown up with you, because we used to look like that picture too. We all look Latin too, okay? This is what we look like too. We look young. So we're still here, now we're grown like you, and you still sexy AF, George Clooney. Like, what are you talking about? George, I don't know if anybody's ever told you today, but you now are in your cat daddy era, okay? Let me tell you, and this is something that we all go through if we've been in entertainment a long time. Like stand-up comics, we normally, our fan bases who started with us, they get older. My audience gets into the season period with me. So we used to have our comedy shows, we'd have like a 9 o'clock, a 10:45, maybe an 11:30. But now because our fan base is older, you know, we have, our comedy shows start at 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Because people want to get home, they got to take a nap. They don't want to be going home late. We take naps before we go to the movies, and that's okay. So, George, you don't have to stop. You just got to adjust a little bit. Like all of this, I'm not doing it because, George, you can still do a romantic comedy. I mean, hell, set it in a senior living home. Damn, if you want to do it. It literally could be about a throuple in a retirement community if you want to do it. And I don't want you to think, George, that you're now competing with the 25-year-olds, because you're really not. They got their own fan base. We all know that they doing things we can't do anymore, okay? So when I see you, and you have a love scene, George, I want to see you do it nice and slow, steady as we go, is what I want to see. And I don't want to see you... Look at these, you can look at these young ones with these love scenes. I'm like, slow down, damn. Slow down. You know, and I just saw a movie with Robert De Niro that it's called Alto Nights. He plays a gangster and he plays a businessman. And let me see, Robert De Niro's 81. He didn't do one action scene in that daggone movie. Now, here's the thing. When you're 25, you jump from roof to roof. You rolling over the hoods of cars. You fall off a 100-foot building and your back hits a beam and you still up and running. Now, you know, our back hit a beam, we paralyzed. We ain't going nowhere. Robert De Niro did all his gangstering from behind a desk. That's what he did. There was one point, and I'm saying this for George Clooney. I never saw a gangster movie where I didn't see a bunch of action. But this one was like that. It wasn't a bunch of action because they was all old, okay? All the gangsters were old. There was one point, Robert De Niro as the gangster, he got shot in the head. Now, normally when you saw Godfather, when they shoot, they fall all over the place. They try to get up and they try to shoot back. They shot Robert De Niro in the head. He grabbed the wall real slow, like this, and he kind of fell. He fell real slow. You know why? Because the gangster's knees was hurting. And he sat down. He slid down that wall so slow. Then he like leaned back because he didn't want to hurt nothing. He leaned back. And I loved it. Movie Alto Nights was amazing. And so, George Clooney, I am begging you, don't stop making the romantic movies. What are we supposed to do, George? I can only lust after Timothy Chalamet and Damson Idris for so long. I can only talk about how fine they are and lust at them. Then somebody gonna be like, you know you could be their mama. I don't wanna hear that. So you are affecting me because I want to lust after somebody and I don't want to feel wrong doing it, and I can lust after you, George Clooney. So come on back. Come on back. I don't like this. Did he ask his wife Amal if he could stop doing romantic scenes? You know, and the thing about I bet you didn't tell your wife you was gonna do that. That means you're gonna be home all day. She don't want you home all day. I don't go to work.
We're gonna have a good time.